In our community center that have made the time to come share your time, which we know is very limited and valuable, and we really appreciate that you've decided to share it with us this morning. Since 2014, Oasis has been the secular alternative to faith-based communities. We welcome all regardless of beliefs or non-beliefs, race, gender, sexual orientation, sexual identity, or any other trait. And we feel that the human experience is better when shared. So we're gonna have an experience here today. You'll see our 5 core values. They're here on the stage behind me, but just as a recap, they are: people are more important than beliefs, reality is known through reason, human hands solve human problems, meaning comes from making a difference, and be accepting and be accepted. We've got a great program this morning. Our featured speaker is the Honorable Judge Courtney Wachal. I just heard it and I'm like, okay, brain, you can do this. The Honorable Judge Courtney Wachal. Wachal? Yeah. Or just call her Courtney at her insistence. On the Casey Wellness Court. So I'm super excited for you guys to hear that presentation. Our musical guest, our very own Cantrell, they are right there. And a community moment by Mark Minden. And so that'll be exciting. With no further ado, as I like to say, let's give another warm Oasis welcome. Cantrell.
That's a cool picture.
Honey for a cool breeze.
foot for change? Did you exchange walk on part in the war for lead role in the cage? Repeating in my head, if I can be my own, I'd feel better dead. It's Tom from the office down the hall. Good to see you, buddy. How have you been? Things have been okay for me, except that I'm a zombie now. I really wish you'd let me in. brains. We're not unreasonable. I mean, no one's gonna eat your eyes. All we wanna do is eat your brains. We're at an impasse here. Maybe we can compromise. If you open up the door, we'll all come inside and eat your brains. I don't mean to nitpick, Tom, but is this really your plan? Spend your whole life locked inside a mall. Maybe that's okay for now, but someday you'll be out of food and guns, and then you'll have to make the call. I can see you haven't really thought it through enough. You never had the head for all that bigger picture stuff. But Tom, that's what I do, and I plan on eating you slowly. All we wanna do is eat your brains. We're not unreasonable. I mean, no one's gonna eat your eyes. All we wanna do is eat your brains. We're at an impasse here. Maybe we can compromise. If you open up the door, we'll all come inside and eat your brains. I'd like to help you, Tom, in any way I can. I sure appreciate the way you're working with me. I'm not a monster. Well, technically I am. I guess I am. Get another meeting, Tom. I guess we should wrap this up. I know we'll get to common ground somehow. Meanwhile, I'll report back to my colleagues who are chewing on the door. I guess we'll table this for now. Oh no, it happened again. Thank you for your time. I know we're all busy as hell. And we'll put this thing to bed when I crack your head open. All we wanna do is eat your brains. We're not unreasonable. I mean, no one's gonna eat your eyes. All we wanna do is eat your brains. We're at an impasse here. Maybe we can compromise. If you open up the door, we'll all come inside and eat your brains. Thank you.
I feel like maybe that would have went more like brains good, right? I mean, that's the most conversational zombie that I've heard of. So, thank you, thank you so much for that. So we'll talk a little bit more about what else JJ is up to when we welcome him back to the stage here in a little while. All right. So we're going to get into some announcements. We'll start with some celebrations. We got birthdays. I saw Daryl Ray in the house today celebrating the big 7-5 today. So happy birthday to Dr. Daryl Ray. Later this week, August 26th, Doug Sirik. August 27th, Richard Allen. August 31st, Bill Barnes. And then we come to September. How did that happen? I don't know. And remember how much I love September. I love it a lot. Most birthdays of the month in September. So we're going to have a lot of birthdays to celebrate this year. But kicking off on the 2nd with Lenore Ming, on the 3rd, Storm Davis, on the 4th, Roger Pick, and then we have birthday twins on the 2nd, or the 6th rather, Gary Webster and Jayana DeWolf Parent. So If they're here, give them some love. If not, give them some virtual love throughout the week. Does anyone here have a birthday or celebration that we did not get listed? No? Okay, well, we'll just celebrate being here today. That's the rest of what we can celebrate. Another very special event yesterday. Happy 39th anniversary to Chuck and Jeanette Baugh. Very exciting, yep. And their wedding picture was adorable, so if you haven't seen it, go online on Facebook and look at it. Something else special, our friend Christoph has moved back from Michigan, so we will get to see Christoph here in our community again, and that's a great treat. He's a great guy and has been a great part of our community, and we have missed him while he was gone. Now we'll talk a little bit about some things that we need around the community center to assist with our Sunday gatherings. You'll see these boxes out in the lobby. You can pick a card from the Need Help section and do that task and put it in the All Done when you're completed. As we remember, this is a completely volunteer-run, donation-based organization, so it really does take all of our human hands to keep everything going. So if you appreciate the secular community, we're going to need to pull together to keep it going along. Another announcement is it's time to sign up for, to host, anyway, at this point, a fall community group. So it's great for us all to be here together, but sometimes it's not as easy to get to know people as closely as you'd like just in the coffee break or before or after the gathering. So these are opportunities to have a smaller group that you see every other week or weekly if the host chooses. There's discussions on a wide range of topics, but right now it's just the time for hosts to sign up, and then you'll see more information when we get to the point where it's time for people to sign up for each group that's been established. Justine, is she in here? There she is. Raise her hand. If you have any questions, she will be your point of contact. If you've never been in a community group before, that was really one of my early introductions to this community and helped me appreciate what I had found here in the Kansas City community. So I would encourage everyone to look into that. On Monday, it's monthly Monday musical, and this week will be Grease. Be wildly inappropriate at this era, but as a kid, no, it's not. It's fine. It's fine that these 30-year-olds were acting like they were teenagers. That's perfectly cool. But who doesn't love Olivia Newton-John? You know, she's real great, and Grease for peace. So come sing along, bring your own food and drink, and different comfy seating if you don't choose to sit in these seats. We'll start being here at 5:30, but the musical will start at 6. If that's not your thing, later this week we will have a game night. So that starts from 7 to 9. So you can bring your favorite board game, or there will be, there's always some here. So it's time to roll the dice and see what connections you can make at game night. Quick reminder, again, that we will not be meeting here next Sunday. So where will we be next Sunday? Not here is the answer. So if you come here, you can park in the parking lot and do some stuff, but we would rather that you come join us at our Labor Day weekend picnic. You see the location here is English Landing Park in Parkville. So that is a park that we have not, I want to say we haven't ever been there for anything. It's a beautiful park, well-established trees right on the Missouri River up in Parkville. From 11 to 2, so bring your food to share, chairs and outdoor games. And then it is also typically a service Sunday for us, but with the overlap with the picnic, we won't be having a blood drive or any service project here at the building that week. But there is always an urgent need for blood donors in the summer. So if you are eligible, typically, we would still encourage you to make plans to go donate. All right. Also next Sunday, wow, we're packing it in here. Also next Sunday, our Oasis Book Club will be meeting. The book that they're currently reading, and that if you get an audiobook and put it on 2 times speed, you probably can get through too. By next Sunday is The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. So it will actually take place here. Oh boy, now I've confused everyone. So the only thing that will be here next Sunday is the book club at 1:15. All right. That being said, oh, wait a minute, what happened there? There we go. That being said, we don't, like a month to go by that we're not doing something to benefit those in our community. So we will be having a donation drive. It was announced on Facebook, so you might have seen it. But this Sunday, next Sunday, and the following Sunday, we are asking everyone to bring period products. And then those will be distributed to those in need in the Kansas City area. I think this drive will go towards the schools over in Wyandotte County. So that's where our donations this year will be going. All right. If you didn't catch all of that, you can join our private page. Anybody with a lanyard, or most of the people you see here are part of that, but we have all those announcements there. If you're not a Facebook person, that's also okay. Here's a look at our website, and while this is talking about a community moment, you can also go to the What's Happening section there on our website, and all those announcements of everything that we're going to do will be there. So now we're going to switch to a community moment. It's an opportunity for a member of our community to present a topic of their choice. Ooh. Very exciting. During a Sunday gathering, it could be related to a profession, hobby, travel experiences, and from what I hear today, childhood experiences or volunteer experiences. And again, you can sign up on our website. So we're going to welcome up Mark Minden. If he had 3 words to describe himself, it would be tenacious, persuasive, and open-minded. And if he had a warning label, it would be aggressively non-confrontational. Let's welcome up Mark Minden.
Thank you, thank you. I'm also a competitive meditator, so if you want to, I'm really good at it. Try it. Sorry, I got some notes. I don't really have a real plan for this talk. The reason I'm up here is because none of you people volunteered. So, and at Fringe, we had a guy who here at Oasis. He just told stories about growing up with his grandparents, and I was driving home, and I said, I could probably do that, and Sally said, yeah, you could probably do that, and so that's why I'm here. The title is based on, we grew up in Overland Park, and my sister was really into status, and she continually, all the time we lived there, it was always like, we live in the slums of Overland Park, because we were in Knoll Hills. I don't know, does anybody know Knoll Hills? It's right down the hill from Shawnee Mission South. But the biggest problem was we belonged to a country club, but we didn't have a golf course. So it was like very embarrassing to go to school and say, oh, we only have a tennis court. But so my family, we lived right next to the swimming pool at our country club. And whenever my mom wanted us to come home, my mom would just call up the pool and say, tell them to come home, and they would get on the microphone and they'd be like, Mickey, Mark, and Todd, go home, and they'd say it like 3 times. Everybody in the neighborhood could hear it. So no matter where we went after that, everybody was like, you guys are supposed to be going home. So everybody was like keeping track of us like all the time. And so I was a redhead. I had some pictures, didn't I? I'm supposed to click something. Can I just do that? Oh, there we go. Here I am. You can see how cool I was. So we had an old country doc. I had an athlete's foot like really bad, and we had this old country doctor, Dr. Smith. He used to he didn't believe in Novocaine or any of that kind of stuff. He would just start cutting out your ingrown toenail and with a cigarette in his mouth. And he's like, don't cry, you don't need Novocaine, because I guess that was a sissy thing to do. So when I had athlete's foot, he prescribed I should soak my feet in this stuff that turned my feet purple. So as you can see, I was a redhead. I had purple feet. I had to go swimming with a white t-shirt on because I could not be out in the sun, which I now find out is not even UV protection, so it really did nothing. I just wore this to get beat up, I guess. And zinc oxide on my nose, so all summer long they called me Grapefoot. It's like, and it stuck for several years, so it's like, hey, Grapefoot. So that was kind of the year I learned how to fight a little bit, because, so. I mean, a lot of people don't know I'm a redhead because I'm gray now, but being a redhead's like part of your life. It's a thing. And so now that I'm not a redhead, I'm kind of disappointed because I don't have my redhead community anymore. So then I was going to just talk about some stupid things we used to do. We had, it was like a big deal. If you take a golf ball and you rub it on the cement and just sand it down, you get into the core, and it's like these rubber bands, and they're wrapped all around like a Super Bowl that's in the middle of it. And so one day it was like 110 degrees out, and there was nobody home, but I was sitting in front of our driveway, and I was like grinding this thing down because I wanted to get the Super Bowl. I don't know why we wanted the Super Balls, because they weren't really Super Balls, because they really don't bounce, but it was just the thing. So I'm out there and I'm just rubbing this thing, rubbing it. And I didn't think about when it heats up that those little Super Balls have like a liquid center. So the thing just exploded. It came up, hit me in the head, and it had this white liquid that was like just all over my face. It was like I had robbed a bank and got one of those dye packs or something. And it knocked me out, hit the garage door, and then bounced all the way across the street through the neighbors across the street. It went through their garage door. Made a hole in the garage door. So I'm just passed out in the middle of the driveway, and my mom, with all this white stuff on my face, and my mom comes up and she's like, "What are you doing?" And she just like kicked me. She's like, "Get up." She's like, and then she goes into the house, and I was like, okay. So yeah, we didn't go to emergency rooms back then because they were very expensive. So then, here I am. I gave up with that, didn't I? Here I am. I think I have a mustache there. Can y'all see the mustache? That's a good looking mustache, isn't it? So this is just me. I was just chilling in our family room, and my mom had this flower arrangement. It was like dried flowers with feathers and stuff. But there was this one little feather, and it was just like blowing in the wind, and it was just like driving me nuts. And I sat there for a long time. I'm like, I'm just not going to do anything. And then I decided, I smoked back then, so I had a lighter. So I was just going to trim up the plant a little bit, so I just lit the lighter and just touched it, and that thing went up like a Roman candle. It was just like, it's like the fire's hitting the ceiling. And so I pick it up, and I look like the Statue of Liberty. I'm running through the house, and it's leaving this streak, which is still, you can see because you can't paint it over because it keeps coming back. So there's a black streak all the way down the hall. So I get outside. I throw the plant down. I'm like, okay, it's all good. So I didn't know anything about how these things were put together. So I throw it down, and I stomped on it. Well, they're put together with like a big, long nail to hold it up. So the nail went through my shoe, and it stuck there, and I couldn't get it off. So now I have this burning plant stuck on my pant, and I have a pair of jeans on it. Now my jeans are catching on fire. And I know everybody's like, oh, you should just stop, drop, and roll. But when you're on fire, it's very hard to remember stop, drop, and roll. So I finally, after my pants are all on fire, my mom, I'm rolling around on the ground, and my mom and my sister pull up in the car. My mom just calmly gets out of the car, goes over, grabs a hose, and just sprays me down. And again, she just looked at me, and she's like, idiot. And she just went right back in the house. It's like, I have a plant stuck on my foot, but luckily it was so hot it cauterized it so it didn't bleed very much. And so that was the good part about it. I don't know. How much time do I have? Because I have a ton of stories. I have 5 minutes? Oh, my. That's a lot of time. I can tell you about the first time I went to a real jail. Would you like to hear about that? Yeah, that was a good one. So I had driving problems when I was a kid. I had several reckless driving tickets and things like that. I went to court in Kansas City, Missouri, and they sentenced me to go to driving school. Well, I didn't want to go to driving school, so I didn't go to driving school. And I was like, oh, I better clear this up. So I called the courts up, and I was like, well, what do I do now? And they're like, oh, you just come down. And I'm like, they're not going to throw me in jail, are they? You guys already kind of got the story, but so I'm just like, okay, I'll go down there, and they'll just reschedule my driving school date. So I get down there, and the judge, he's like, he takes that mallet, he's like, 9 days in jail. I'm like, what the hell, 9 days in jail? And so then being young, and I had low impulse control, I tried to go over and hit him. And so the bailiff grabs me. So then it ended up with 15 days in jail, which is, when you think about it, it's not that bad for trying to hit a judge. So I thought that was fairly reasonable. But so here I am. I'm like 18 years old, and you can tell I was very pretty. So I was not going to survive well in prison. So it was a jail, I guess. But there were real criminals in there, because when I got there, they're like, everybody's like, well, what are you in here for? And they're like, oh, I'm in here for attempted murder, or I beat my wife, or I robbed a bank. And then they turn to me and they're like, what are you in here for? And I'm like, I didn't go to driving school. It's like it was embarrassing. I should have lied. And the first thing when you go to the jail is first you take a shower and you get your nice little matching uniforms. It's really nice. And so first thing you do is you go to the commissary, and they take all your money and they put it on your account. So this is back in the days when they used to give you like tobacco, and if you didn't have any money, they'd give you that Bull Durham and some rolling papers. But so as I'm going through the line, I get up there, and the guy looks up at me and he's like, you got $900 on your account? And he's saying, oh, there's criminals. I'm surrounded by criminals. And he's like, you have $900? I'm like, no, I don't think so. And he's like, yes, you do. And it's like, yeah, I was everybody's best friend at that point. But I think that's it for jail stories. What? Oh, I have one more photo. What is it of? Oh, and here I go. Oh. All right, am I out of time? Oh, 2 minutes. Oh, well, this is my coming out story. I had to tell my family. For years, I've been lying to my family about things, and I was like, I don't ever want to tell them. I told my wife, I'm going to tell the truth at our next family gathering. And she's like, no, don't do that. The whole family, it'll destroy the family. It'll be terrible. Don't tell them anything. So I didn't listen to her. I should have. So everybody gathers around, and I'm like, Mom, I hate your potato salad. It's terrible. I do not ever want to eat your potato salad again. And the whole family, she grabbed her chest, and she was like, oh, my God, because everybody loves my mom's potato salad, except for me. But the funniest thing is, the next time we got together and there was potato salad, they forgot that I didn't like the potato salad. They blamed it all on Sally. So every time the potato salad would come around, everybody would look at her and go, no, Sally doesn't like the potato salad. And she actually did like the potato salad. But so that's my coming out story. And you people need to do community moments so I don't have to come up there and do this again. So.
Okay. So Mark Minden, cautionary tale. Likely the reason that there are actual warnings printed on things based on some of those activities. And the good news is our featured speaker will help us understand the current jails of Kansas City. So it all kind of ties together. Who knew? It'll be a full circle moment. Okay, with that, we're going to move into our coffee break. Everyone take a little break, maybe meet someone that you haven't met before, and we will see you back here in 20 minutes. You can also take a look at the volunteer cards and see what needs done today. All right, we'll see you soon. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. I love to hear everyone chatting with each other. It makes me so happy that you all are getting to have some human connection this morning. One of the great benefits of having a community is getting to know people and building those connections. So with that, we will welcome back JJ. JJ, what do you want to tell me today?
What do you want to know?
I don't know.
Ask me
I feel like
anything.
I've asked you lots of questions over the years. You know how I always like to ask the musicians questions. How are you doing? How you doing, friend? You doing good?
I'm pretty good.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
It's always lovely to see you.
Well, yeah, I washed my face today.
Well, wonderful. We can
No, it's
tell.
all smooth. And, well, I didn't shave, but it's like soft and simple, even salacious.
Oh my, this is taking a turn. We're with that just gonna go ahead and let you play us a song. How about that? Thank you, friend. Another warm Oasis welcome, JJ Cantrell.
Thanks.
Well, I certainly enjoyed that moment. Thank you so much. I love that. Thank you for sharing that with us, JJ. Okay, so they will be back at the end of our program to wrap us up. But now it's time to move on to our fantastic featured speaker. Before that, I'll give a little disclaimer. Our program is designed to generate conversation and engage our powers of reason, not as a forum to start debates. The following presentation has been prepared by our speaker and not Kansas City Oasis. So please respect the views of our speaker, and if you have any questions, a question and answer portion will follow, caveat as time permits. So with that, it is my great pleasure to introduce the Honorable Judge Courtney Wachal. She earned her Juris Doctor from the University of Kansas School of Law and her Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Upon graduation from KU, she served in the Missouri State Public Defender System for 7 years. Oh my gosh, every time I do this. Okay, scroll. Before becoming an assistant prosecuting attorney with the city of Kansas City, Missouri in 2011. She's the past president of the board of directors for Sheffield Place and currently serves on the organization's advisory board. She has a long list of accomplishments and awards, which you can see on our event page. But with that, let's give a warm welcome to the Honorable Judge Courtney Wachal.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Julie, for inviting me to speak here today. I do a lot of speaking in court settings, and I just recently started speaking in our community, and this reception and this vibe is so much better than what I'm used to, so thank you all for being so welcoming. And also thank you, Mark, for the little lead-in story about going to jail. Part of the reason I want to do this public speaking is because I'm trying to change the image of the Kansas City Municipal Court. So I guess I can launch into the next slide. Oh. So before we start, let me tell you a little bit about Kansas City Municipal Court. We are the largest municipal court in the state of Missouri. In 2024, there were 56,000 cases filed there. Of those, 16,718 were general ordinance violations. So general ordinance violations are punishable by up to 6 months in jail. They're not just traffic tickets. Kansas City Municipal Court is not just traffic tickets. We handle assault, stealing, trespass, property damage, domestic assault, and violation of protective orders. In fact, I preside over a wellness court, but I also preside over our domestic violence dockets, and more than 95% of the domestic violence cases filed in the Kansas City area come through my court. So it is a big moving machine. We also do not have our own city jail. Our inmates are housed outstate, and there's very limited bed space. So our probations, though, so our maximum range of punishment's up to 6 months in jail. Our probationary period is up to 2 years. So if we want to work with people, probation is so much more of a valuable tool than jail. In fact, I hardly believe in jail. I was a public defender for 8 years. I represented people on the most serious crimes, and the people that I worked with is what brought me to this position today, because I believe in people. I believe that they have the ability to change and that they don't have, I'm trying to give them the resources they need to do that. Our municipal court has 6 full-time probation officers, and we have our own urinalysis testing lab. So in order to adapt to this huge caseload and no jail space, we have evolved lots of specialized courts, not just wellness court, which is what I'm going to talk about today, but we also have 3 specialized domestic violence dockets. We have a veterans court, we have a women's court, we have a truancy court, we have a community court, and we have a care court. And each of those courts could be a lecture in and of themselves, and I'll be happy to answer any questions about them afterwards, but today we're going to focus on wellness court. So, Kansas City Municipal Wellness Court is an intensive, court-supervised, comprehensive treatment program made for people who are charged with those general ordinance violations, although we changed kind of our motto, so if you need resources, even if you have a traffic ticket, you're welcome in wellness court. But most people only want to put in this level of work on more serious charges, because it is a lot of work. And we treat people who exhibit signs of co-occurring disorders, which includes substance use and mental health disorder. Admission into the program is completely voluntary. So everyone who comes into wellness court has a lawyer. Their lawyer is telling them, here's what your options are. You can go to trial. You could do an unsupervised probation where you won't have to do any work, or you can do this program called wellness court. Everyone who completes wellness court does get their charges dismissed. So, Wellness Court just formed in January of this year. And the reason we formed it was because we previously had a mental health court and a drug court. And I was the drug court judge, and there was a different judge presiding over our mental health court. And we spent a lot of time trying to figure out which court people should be in, because almost everyone has co-occurring disorders. And the result of us trying to figure stuff out was that we would lose the person. The person would get caught up in a system like they are so familiar with. They wouldn't trust us, which again, they're so familiar with. And so we weren't as successful as we could be because we're trying to put them in some kind of box. So we combined the drug court and the mental health court to form wellness court. So here's kind of the evidence-based reason behind it. And you can see the center of this square is mental illness. And then the risk factors that exacerbate mental illness that might bring people into the legal system are antisocial friends and peers, antisocial attitudes, antisocial personality patterns, substance use, family or marital factors, lack of pro-social and leisure activities, poor employment history, lack of education. Wellness Court is designed to address all of those components, get people where they need to be to thrive in our city. Wellness Court is a 4-phase program with elective requirements beginning in phase 2. So I will say, I think Wellness Court is the only court of its kind in the nation. I've done lots of research and I can't find anything like it. Lots of people claim to be co-occurring courts, but the main difference, 2 main differences between Wellness Court and those courts is, number one, we have many, many community partners that were previously siloed in either a mental health court or drug court. They're all at the table for Wellness Court. In fact, we had to change a courtroom into a conference room big enough to hold everybody, but it's been amazing. The service providers are like, oh my gosh, I had no idea we had this many resources. Well, they were just sitting in the other room. And now that we're all together, we know about each other. And I think the participants can really feel it as well. They feel like if they say, I have a need, there's somebody in the room that can address that need. If there isn't, I go and find that person and bring them into the room. And then the second major distinctive factor, and I don't think there's anyone doing this, is the elective component. So I'm going to touch back on the phases as we go through, or the electives as we go through the phases, but it's really designed to target the pro-social activity part of that little circle diagram that we saw. Have people learn about hobbies, develop their own interests, support them in those interests, bring in community partners like this, and encourage, hey, like go out there. There's people doing pro-social activities that support your sobriety, that can give you support long after you graduate this program. So the program is 4 phases. Phase 2 is when the elective component begins, where we're like, okay, you're sober now, you've been sober for 90 days. Let's talk about what you want your life to look like. What's something that you've always wanted to do that we can support you with? And with phase 2, you get a membership, a free membership to all of the community centers in the area. And honestly, that has been so successful. Almost all of our participants are like, am I phase 2 yet? Am I phase 2? Because they want that membership. They're working out, they're playing basketball, they're taking their kids swimming. This population of participants, they just haven't had a life where they're exposed to those type of things. They don't think about going to the gym, or they just haven't had that luxury. Their life has been so hard and full of obstacles that once they get sober and they have this opportunity, they really flourish. Completion of the program requires 6 months sobriety, obtaining permanent housing, and either gainful employment or the equivalent. Some people in the program aren't able to be gainfully employed for a variety of reasons, so we try to give them whatever support that at least they have, grounded in the community. They're grounded in the community. We've tried to find something to make that happen. Okay, so phase 1 of the program is called the orientation phase. You do your intake. We partner with First Call here in the city to do the substance use portion, and then we have our own probation department that specializes in the mental health. What's going on here? What's your history? You meet your attorney. We have a long contract. They go over the conditions of the contract with them. They meet with whatever service providers they're working with in the community, so we try to not disrupt services if they're in services. So all the big 5 mental health providers for the Kansas City region are at the staffing table. If you're already in services, we don't disrupt that. You also meet your court monitor. That's what the person's called from the mental health. There's 5 of them. They sign releases so that we can get information about their treatment, so we know what they're doing in the community. They enter and complete any inpatient or outpatient. So many, many people in wellness court need inpatient treatment. A lot of them are using, at the time they come to us, very serious drugs like fentanyl, PCP. So they can't really do the program meaningfully until they get sober. And another wonderful benefit of combining the 2 programs is drug court had a huge SAMHSA grant for inpatient treatment. So now people with co-occurring disorders that were previously just in mental health court with no treatment funding can avail themselves of the SAMHSA grant and start out in inpatient treatment before they proceed on to the program. They have to attend all of their court appearances as scheduled. Most of them report to court every week or every 2 weeks. We have 2 tracks based on need. So if you're high risk, high need, you report at 2 p.m. If you're low risk, low need, you report at 3 p.m. The 2 p.m. docket is much bigger than the 3 p.m. docket, but the people who have a lot of need come to court more, the people with less need come to court less, and it can be fluid. If you get to a place where you don't need to come as much, then we won't make you come as much. We want to give you enough space to live your life. They also have to submit 6 negative urinalysis tests. Now, I do not put people in jail for positive urinalysis tests. That is part of this process. I really encourage people, come to court, let's figure this out, let's address whatever's happening here so that we can obtain sobriety. The second phase is the stabilization phase, so they've already been sober, they've had the 6 negative UAs, making sure they comply with their treatment plan, they're meeting with their probation officer, starting to think, okay, I completed inpatient treatment, now do I want to have a job? Do I want to get a house? We have a realtor that specializes in finding housing for people with convictions. We have tons of job connections, Great Jobs KC. So whatever you need, we have the support for you. They have to, again, attend all their court appearances. And the stabilization, 1 of elective per week. And it's kind of hard to get them to do 1 hour of something for themselves a week. Like they're so used to being in a system that tells them what to do that it's kind of hard for them to think about, oh, I don't know what I like to do. But it's been really rewarding. And we're going to talk more about some of our partners that we brought in to try to offer a variety of electives. And then 10 negative urinalysis tests. Phase 3 is the reintegration phase. This is where we're like, okay, you've been sober for a long time now. How are you going to live when you graduate this program? What does the world look like for you outside of this program? So we're making sure that they have a sponsor if they believe in that, NAAA, some people don't. But they're finding some partner in the community that can support their sobriety. Working on their family relationships. A lot of their family relationships are just destroyed from their use. So if it's not traumatic to the person, if they can start to rebuild those connections, those will be very sustainable when they complete the program to have that family support if it's available to them. Work on getting housing, and then the elective goes up to 2 hours per week, which so far most people have just been going to the gym for 2 hours, but some of them walk their dogs. One lady started cooking with her family. They like 1 hour a week, they do that. We pretty much approve anything. People who have a strong faith go to church, go to Bible study. We pretty much approve anything as long as they're just thinking of it in that way, like this way of getting community support. And then 14 negative urinalysis tests. And then the final phase before graduation, they have to apply for graduation. We don't deny them, but we want them to really be thinking like, okay, I don't have to come to court every week. Like, what am I going to do to make sure that I can stay this way? And throughout the program, we're really positive. We clap and support everybody every day. They get a job interview, we all clap. We have incentives that if they do all their UAs, they get to spin this wheel and get a prize. And there's different levels of prizes, but it's like, it's very meaningful for them. They honestly like coming to court. I've never seen it before. But they seem like they enjoy coming. And so we have to be thinking about the transition of when they don't have to come anymore, right? I don't want them to feel like, oh, I don't have any support now. So we are starting an alumni group, and then I keep the doors open. In fact, I don't arrest people in court hardly ever unless they're like assaultive in the courtroom. And people come back like, you know how this process is, like sobriety, maybe you don't know. But people will have a trigger and they'll go off and use, and then they get warrants, and then it's like you lose them because once they have a warrant, they're afraid. So what I do is I say, just come back. We're your family, come back anytime, I'll set aside your warrant. And I swear, almost every week, somebody is coming back and being like, Judge, I need help, I messed up, and I take them. Because that is how this process works, and a lot of these people don't have anyone supporting them. And so in wellness court, we try to be that support. 18 negative urinalysis tests in a row for them to graduate. So that's what I mean. You have to work hard. We have had one guy who just had a driving while suspended. He completed the program successfully because he just wanted the help. We have another lady with a traffic ticket that has intense trauma, and she's joining the program because she wants the services. The word of getting the services in wellness court is spreading, and that's what I want. I want to help people. I want to change the image of the court as if I walk in those doors, they're going to put me in jail. So how do we make all this happen? Well, before the docket, we have what's called the staffing, where all of the community partners are in the same room talking about everybody who's on the docket and just talking about their point of contact with the individual over the last week or 2 weeks. So we are in their business, and we don't approach them as such. Like, I don't tell them like, I know what you did, I'm not like that. But we want to know what's happening in their lives, and then the person that they have the best relationship with is who typically approaches them if there's some issue we need to address. It varies. Sometimes they like their first call peer reentry advocate the best. Sometimes they like their mental health person the best. Sometimes they like me the best, and that's always kind of awkward because they talk in court like very openly about very personal issues, but that's just the connection they feel. But we try to be very conscious of sending the message to them of what they need to work on in a way that they will receive it the best. So blue track, green track, like I discussed. Here's a list of some of our community partners, not even close to all of them, but I'm always looking for more community partners, so if you are familiar with somebody who you think could benefit, or not benefit, we're the ones who'd benefit, but if you're in an organization that could provide services for the wellness court population, please let me know. I don't know if I put my email in this, but Julie can give my email. I am always looking to expand this network because people, they're individuals and they have individual needs, and meeting them where they're at with those needs is how I build trust with them to get them through the program one step at a time. Here's a copy of our staffing note. So it shows where you see last name, first name. We put their name on there. We put their UA results. We ask if they've done their electives. Incentive earned, that's the wheel spinning thing. So in staffing, we're filling this out so that when I go on the bench, after we staff from 1 to 2, when I go on the bench at 2, I've got all these notes, so I'm prepared to talk to the person. And I'll be like, oh, Pam said they're going to talk to them about this or whatever, but I'm organized so that they know that I care. I don't look like I'm fumbling around up there like, oh man, I haven't seen you for 2 weeks, what's going on? Like, I know what's going on. And thanks to all of our community partners. Here are the notes for the green. Looks pretty much like the blue. So this was for a previous presentation I did about reflections, because combining these courts, it was hard, and I was scared. And I have a court team that supports me. I have a probation department, and they were so supportive. But my biggest fear was that it was just going to flop. Like that we would just be out there, it was too big, it was too unwieldy, and we would look like we don't know what we're doing. And this did not happen at all. It was a little rocky those first few times because the dockets are huge. I think there's like more than 60 some participants right now. So getting that organized and that flow, it took a little bit. And we get referrals all the time for people who are joining, but that fear was overcome. The biggest change in my role was adding people who have serious mental illness and no co-occurring. That has been, because some people have like just cognitive delay. It's not a population that I'm as familiar with working with. I have worked a lot with substance use. So that has been a big change. But luckily, I've got these mental health monitors. I've got people there that can help get me through it. How has Wellness Court better served the participant population? I think the biggest thing there is just trust. We have earned the trust of our participants, and so they are willing to reach out and try new things because they believe that we have their best interests at heart. We don't run like a normal court. I'm not putting people in jail. We're clapping and celebrating, and I think that goes a long way towards them. They see we're putting in the work, then they want to put in the work. Areas improvement for Wellness Court. There's a certain portion of people who come into Wellness Court and they white knuckle it. Like they get sober, but like the issues are still there. And we all can tell in staffing, we can tell that that's what's happening, but we're not very good at addressing it because they say all the right things and do all the right things, and then I graduate them and they're back in 2 months. So I want to work harder to figure out how to be better about that. And then my favorite participant story, I have a guy, you'll see him, his graduation is going to be on this video that I'm going to play in 2 seconds. His name is Darius, and he's one of the people that has no substance use really, marijuana a little bit, but I'm pretty lax about marijuana, to be honest with you. There's lots of bigger things to worry about. But he has cognitive delays. He lived at Thrive. He resented living at Thrive because he wanted to go out and smoke weed with his friends. His friends they did not have his best interests in mind. Like, he just didn't have anybody else. He was going out with these people he thought were his friends. They weren't his friends, so he was in Thrive. He was mad about it. So we started doing these electives, and we have everybody do it. So he decided that he wanted to play softball. And we have this recovery league. And he went to softball, and they sent me a picture of him, like, with his arm outstretched, like, catching a ball. And it was, like, the coolest thing I've ever seen, because he is so quiet, and it was, like, a big thing to see him out there doing that. So that's my favorite story. What's to come? So we have a nonprofit called Beyond the Bench KC. I think they're going to start their website. Hopefully it's launching next week. Their sole purpose is to raise money for all of our specialty court participants, not just wellness court, but veterans court, all of them. Raise money for our participants for things that the court can't cover. Like, a lot of them have back utilities, so they can't get their own place because they have back utilities. And even though they're working in our program, they live in transitional living, so transitional living takes some of their check. So apartment applications, first month deposit, those type of things I think is really going to go a long way adding to the trust. So that group is starting, and we're going to, I think, as far as I know, again, the only court in the nation that's doing anything like that. But I think it's going to have a really big impact on their trust and their desire to want to complete the program, because it's showing, hey, I hear you. I know you've got this money outstanding from a life that you're not living anymore, and I know you can't save enough to pay it. Let us help. And then also, after this, I'm going to the 1-year birthday celebration of our Aim Well Yoga. And Aim Well Yoga has one lady there who's trained in cognitive behavioral therapy yoga. It's like the only person in the US here in Kansas City. And she's going to start coming to Wellness Court. Actually, she's not going to come to Wellness Court. We're going to send people there. Her place is on the bus line. But she got money from the health department to do a pilot for an 8-week CBT yoga for anybody in Wellness Court who wants to try it. And we're going to take a field trip to her studio, and I think that alone is going to sell it, because, again, a lot of these people have never been to a yoga studio. Like, they do not know what that's like. So I'm super, super excited about it. And also, CBT is a lot of what you use in these type of programs to change criminal thinking. So combining that with yoga, and she's going to do measurements. So we're going to measure their stress level, but also their flexibility. It's going to be amazing, and I'm very excited about it. And then also we have annual partnerships with the KC Free Eye Clinic and the Swope Mobile Dental. In fact, Swope Mobile Dental was just there last week. Everybody brought their kids. It was awesome. So really, again, trying to show that we care. And now I'm going to play this video. You guys are the first people to see this video. Like, my eyes look kind of crazy there. But we just produced it. Our city communications just produced it, and it is a short 3-minute video about Wellness Court.
Wellness Court launched in January of 2025, and it is actually the combination of drug court and mental health court. Wellness Court serves anyone that has a treatment need. It doesn't matter what your charge is. It can even be a driving offense. If you have a treatment need and you want support, you are welcome in Wellness Court.
They're here, we give them the help that they need in every aspect. So I don't care if it's a matter of, I don't have any groceries or I need shoes for a job. We're gonna help you do that, opposed to just only focusing on just drug or mental health treatment.
I know Patrice and I work hard on efficiency with the program. I'm known as the timer person, so I keep a timer on each client, hoping that we can keep it within a time frame.
We are able to make informed recommendations, and we're also able to show the participant, hey, we're working for you.
Judge Wachal really kind of looks at the whole person picture, so that really incorporates any services that you might be getting at University Health, so physical health, mental health, substance use.
I can say from personal experience with the individuals that have gone through Sober Me and graduated, they are excited to come to court. We celebrate getting your driver's license back and getting a job opportunity, or even going to a job interview. We celebrate everything, the big and the small.
Something new that we launched when we launched Wellness Court was elective programming. We created electives so that the to empower the individual to seek out things that they enjoy doing, because we know that when they graduate the program, those are really the things that are going to keep them sober and mentally well.
We're starting to not look at one type of secular behavior and starting to assess an individual from every angle. If I want to change my whole life with the help of Wellness Court, how do I live differently if this is how I've always gotten by?
The more we graduate, the more come in, more referrals we get. So I don't necessarily think that us losing that workload is going away, but
Yeah.
but
Because there's
yeah,
always people in need.
always.
So, and unfortunately, it is some repeat offenders. I don't want to see you back here, especially in this capacity. Hey, let me see you just in a store in passing. I came to your job because you're working somewhere. Oh yeah, I remember you, and I want to see you doing good and flourishing, and being a productive member of society.
People are really thriving in Wellness Court. They just like it. They like coming to court. I think they feel like they're being treated like people. They feel like we care, that we support them, and they're thinking about their lives in a way that they maybe haven't before. That support and the empowerment they feel by choosing their own path has made court fun. This whole team is here to provide you with support. Let's work through it one step at a time, and we're going to get there. And so we do hold people accountable, but also we tell them when they're doing a good job. Even if they have a misstep, we address it, but you're here, and I'm really proud of you.
That guy at the end in the blue, he was the guy who caught the softball. I guess that's it. Oh, next button.
Wellness Court launched in January of 2025.
Oh, question.
And it is actually...
I see it. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah. Okay, and remember that a question ends with a question mark. Kevin?
Do we have anything like this program as it pertains to law enforcement when you're getting pulled over for someone who might have a mental illness or a mental issue and or sobriety? Do we have anything where that empathy that you're showing in this program is related to what they should be learning or an education for law enforcement?
Such a good question. So my program is post-adjudication, so they've already gone into the system. You're talking way before. I will say Kansas City does a terrible job of intervening before they get to the legal system. We do have CIT officers. There's only 6 in the entire city, and they are crisis intervention team, and they're the ones who are supposed to be dealing with those types of situations. We do not have enough. But I will say, the public safety tax passed recently, so we are going to be building a local detention and rehabilitation center, but part of that is we're also going to be building a community resource center, and that's going to be accessible by not just court users, but also non-court users. So all the resources that you get in court, you'll be able to get if you're not justice involved as well. And I'm on the committee to select the RFP committee or whatever for that. So you never know with things like this, but I'm gonna push, that's my vision for it. Because when you go to other cities, they put most of their resources before people get into the system, for good reason, right? But we don't do a very good job of that here. Sorry.
Okay,
I know people are probably...
My question is, recidivism is obviously what your goal is to reduce that. How does the largest municipal court in the state compare to the rest of the state or maybe other municipalities?
I've never compared it to other municipalities, and all the recidivism data I have memorized is about domestic violence, because that's my main wheelhouse, and this is a newer program, so I haven't compared or collected. I can only speak anecdotally I don't think I mentioned this, but we partnered with Healing House to do our inpatient treatment. Before that, we did a different provider. When we had a different provider, people would just get out of jail and run away immediately. Those numbers have anecdotally gone way down since we started partnering with Healing House. I have good statistics on domestic violence. Our high-risk offender compliance docket is 26% recidivism rate. That's less than half of the national average. We do a bond class for first-time offenders. The recidivism rate for that is less than 6%. So we have good data, just not as much for wellness court. That's a TBD. And also we have grad students from Temple University coming to study wellness court in the next year, and they're going to get really good data as well, which you're not the only person concerned about it because I need it for grants. So I'm excited that they're going to come. But wonderful question. And we do have all of our specialty courts data on the city's website, so you can look it up. But there won't be anything on there from wellness court because it just started.
Okay, so back here with David.
Have you faced much political resistance, being that our culture likes punishment more than therapy?
Yeah, that's exactly why I was saying this is such a nice, friendly group. Absolutely. The thing about, though, being in municipal court is the maximum range of punishment's up to 6 months. If I wanted to put people in jail, they would be out in 4, like with no treatment, no nothing, in worse circumstances than when I put them in, because they lost their job, they lost their house, they are behind on their bills. So I try to sell it like that, but certainly when I talk people, especially because I do some of the same type of work in domestic violence court, more accountability piece, because those are a higher risk to public safety. But people, like, I don't know if you've heard the term hug a thug, that's what they say, I do. So yes, definitely some pushback, but honestly, if you would, so when I first started being domestic violence judge, I was very more punitive, because that's what the world tells you to do. The results are so much better now that I'm making my courtroom a place where people feel comfortable coming to ask for help. And also, when they go to jail on the DV docket, and they do much more frequently than on the wellness court docket, they know. Like, I tell them, these are the things that will not be tolerated. If you get a new DV charge, as soon as I find you, you are going to jail. So I think building that trust and not hiding the ball, it makes a big difference in the outcomes of the people who actually complete the program. The people that don't are going to jail no matter what.
Yeah. Okay, I think we only have time for one last question from Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming and talking. So there are lots of formalized elements of the program, from the like X number of your analyses to like you have to apply for jobs to da-da-da. But I'm curious if you could speak to the kind of more informal community-based aspects of the program that really support people's continued sobriety and mental health growth. So like the kind of ethos of the program and the ways in which like being part of a community helps them grow, in addition to like, here are the like literal steps you have to take, if that makes sense.
Right, and those literal steps that I showed you, they don't really get that. They don't understand that. In fact, I have a woman who comes to court every week, and she has been using PCP since she was like 14, and you almost can't even tell if she's high. Like, it is like, it does not impact her at all. She has had no negative UAs. And I'm not kicking her out. I'm just like, okay, what are we gonna do? She has a horrible childhood trauma. Actually, her entire life, horribly traumatic. So she got her own house. She has a therapy dog. She's going to treatment at Amani House, and now we just partnered with Clear Tomorrow KC, and they work outside of the Big Five, like University Health, with private practitioners who will provide services. There's no wait list, and they're doing it for free. The wait lists are insane in this city. University Health, anything that you want to get treatment for, it takes like 6 months. So now this woman is going to get therapy right away. She was able to say, I want a woman of color to be my therapist, and they're connecting her with that. So my hope is that then we're going to start seeing some negative UAs. But she's trying. I mean, honestly, she's trying so hard, and she's better than when we started, but the metrics, aren't working. We had a Spotlight on Electives month, where every month I brought somebody into court to talk about what they do in the community that our participants could avail themselves of. So one was the community resource centers. One was Unity Temple. They came and talked about Tai Chi and meditation. One was Goodwill. I don't know if you know, Goodwill is like one of the biggest employers of people with criminal backgrounds in the city, and they have lots of job training opportunities. So they came and talked. And then one was Latasha Jacobs from Pathway Financial, and she works on like creating a budget. She can also help you if you want to start your own nonprofit. So we do promote that, and I have guest speakers all the time for people who approach me, because even the budgeting lady, she was so official. And I could tell our people were like, oh my God, like I have 1 penny. How, like, what am I supposed to be doing with this? But the fact that I was trying to talk to them about that was like, yeah, I need to know about this stuff. You know, in a month I'm gonna start. And it again, treating them like people, which is so freaking sad. But our system does not treat people like individuals, just herds them in and herds them out. And so, the electives, honestly, is kind of what we talk about more than anything, because it's kind of the fun part.
Okay, all right.
Thank you all so much. You've been a wonderful audience.
Thank you. Of course. Whew. That was fantastic. I think we could have had you here probably for another half an hour. I know I still have a lot of questions, and this is the second time I've seen you present, and I still have questions. Okay. 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 Okay, so we will make sure that we get Judge Courtney's email address on our private page so that people can reach out to you. And I feel like you're going to see some of our faces. Okay, all right. Yay. Okay. So with that, I'll just remind everyone, once again, we are a completely donation-funded, volunteer-run organization. This is one way that you can show your support, kcoasis.org/donate. And with that, I think we're running a little short on time, so we're going to move over to JJ. JJ, do you have any, I see that the Fantastics are on this slide. Do you have any upcoming performances that you're doing with them?
Yes.
Wonderful. And we can Google that. Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, it's September 18th, Thursday evening, over behind the Kansas City Jazz Museum.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Oh, love
Good
it,
talk.
love it. Okay, take it away, friend.
I don't know what to do.
You know, it's going to be a surprise, and I'm here for it.
Same. When I'm not around. It's so fucking special. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Oh, oh, she's running out again. I said she's running out. She runs, 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 runs. Runs. Whatever makes you happy, whatever you want, it's so fucking special. I wish I was special. I wish I was special.
Woo!
Thanks.
All right, all right. You are special. You're special to me, and that was very special. Thank you so much for singing for us. If you have time to join us for lunch today and continue the conversation, we'll be at Tanner's just right over here on 39th and Rainbow. Real short drive from here. Once again, we will not be here unless you're coming to the book club at 1:15. But we will not be here for regular programming. This coming week, we will be at the Labor Day picnic, once again, English Landing Park in Parkville. But in 2 weeks, we will hear from Joan Shields and Jocelyn Ball Edsonen, oh boy, from the City of Fountains Foundation. And then here pictured is our musician, Margot Reed, with a community moment from our very own Elisa. So we got a lot to look forward to. We would just ask as you leave to please pick up around you and check out those volunteer tasks one last time. And with that, it has been my distinct pleasure to have presented this week music from J.J. Cantrell, our community moment from Mark Menden, and a very special thank you to Judge Courtney. I think we learned a lot and know that human hands are solving human problems here in Kansas City. Thank you so much.